Welcome to Drinks in the Library, the only library where drinks aren't just allowed, they are required. I'm your librarian host, Gigi Howard, and each episode I'll be interviewing a guest about a much-loved book that we will be pairing with a drink for you to enjoy along with us or consider for your next book club meetup. As always, stay curious and support your local library. Hello, Libration Nation. Charlie's life is going nowhere fast. He's depressed, lonely, and living with his cats in a house that his siblings are dying to sell from under him. All he wants to do is open a bar downtown. If only the bank would approve his loan. Then his long-lost Uncle Jake dies and leaves his supervillain business complete with an island volcano lair to Charlie. This is the wildly fun and fast-moving plot from the book Starter Villain by John Scalzi, which I discuss with this week's guest, Allie Speakmon. Allie is a book reviewer and content creator based in the New Braunfels, Texas area. She runs Speaking of Books across Instagram and TikTok, and her website speakingof.org, where she reviews mysteries, thrillers, romantasy, and contemporary fiction with an honest take and a full glass of wine. She is a project manager by day, a mom of 3 under 4, including twins, and a self-proclaimed Type C reader who reads by vibes and ignores her TBR pile. She's been in the Bookstagram community for 9 years. She reads 100 plus books a year and recently founded the Quarterly Book Club in New Braunfels for busy women who love books but think monthly is too much of a commitment. We paired our conversation with the villain Spritz, which Allie brought to me, which was perfect pairing for this book. One last thing before we get started, if you're enjoying the show, please like, subscribe, and give 5 stars wherever you get your podcast for Drinks in the Library. That really helps people find me and helps me grow. One last thing, Drinks in the Library is now on Patreon. Please follow over there to support the show, get ad-free episode and bonus content. I so appreciate it. All right, let's get to it. Hello, Allie. How are you tonight?
Doing good, especially now that I have a little bit of a wind down cocktail going on, which is
Yes,
perfect.
absolutely. And I love the cocktail that you chose. Tell us about it just a little bit.
Okay, so I will be honest and say that I am very low key when it comes to cocktails, only because I'm sometimes very lazy. But I have a friend, and she worked for a alcohol distribution company for a decade.
Okay.
And she has her own garden, and so she actually grows her own herbs that she uses for garnishes in her cocktails. And so I actually called her and I said, I have this podcast interview. It's a very fun book. And would you give me a recommendation on a cocktail? And so she actually put it together for me.
Well,
So,
shout out to her. That's awesome. Lovely. I love that. So the cocktail, it's villain themed.
yes, it's villain themed. Blackberries, because villains wear black. A little bit of red or pinkish, because this particular book is about villains, but fun villains. So it's just a very fun, and I live in South Texas. It's always warm, and so I just need something light at the end of the day. It goes with a light book. It's just an easy cocktail to make, and it goes perfect with the book because the book is very refreshing and just very light.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, I didn't know this whole story with your friend, so that is really cool. I'm glad we got to include her.
Yes, her Instagram, because she's full on to the Instagram stuff too, is Gimlets and Gardens.
Okay.
And I can totally send you her information and stuff.
Yay.
But huge shout out to my friend Katie. She put it together for me, and she is our resident bartender whenever everybody gets together. So it's perfect.
Okay. Thank you, Katie. I love this so much. Okay. So villains, we're talking about the, like you said, fun villain romp, Starter Villain by John Scalzi, right?
Yes. Oh, and I absolutely love this book. I'm so glad that we get to talk about it because I think not enough people talk about it. And it is one of my top go-to recommendations, especially if somebody's asking, in the climate of the world today, if they're asking for something to just escape reality for a little bit. It's just my favorite book to recommend for something like that.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. And we all need a palate cleanser these days for sure. All right. So when did you read this book? Who was Allie at that time?
So I actually read this book about 2 years ago. I would say that I was the exact same person, slightly better rested because I had 2 less kids and I was newly pregnant with my twins. And they are going to be 2 this year, which is heartbreaking, but also amazing because I love this age. They're just so fun.
Yeah.
But I was physically exhausted and I was working full time. I had a 2.5-year-old who was not the easiest at the time. And I had very, very bad night sickness. And I just needed something that I could read that wasn't going to take a ton of brain cells.
Yeah.
I wanted something light. I wanted something fun. And I needed something that I could read quickly and binge because I also wasn't sleeping. And so I actually saw this book. It was a aardvark pick 2 years ago. I think in September 24, 23 or something like that.
What is aardvark?
Aardvark, it is a book subscription.
Okay.
Book of the month. It's very similar to them, but they're based out of Canada. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. They do ship to Canada. So I know that was like a huge thing at the time because Book of the Month did not. They typically have more non-popular books, non-mainstream books. So they do focus a little bit more on the horror. They do weird books, quirky books. They do generally have just some your basic romance or your basic mystery thriller, but this was one of their picks. And the cover is a cat in a suit. And while I'm more of a dog person, it pulled me in. And then I started hearing all these great things from people about how fun the book was and how funny it was. And so I knew I had to pick it. And I picked it. I read it 2 months later when I really needed something light. And I just absolutely loved it. I just had so much fun with it.
Yeah. Okay. So what pulled you in about it? I guess the story itself is so unique. So our protagonist, his name is Charlie. And also I read this book just a couple months ago. So I did revisit it for this, but yeah, I have read the book. But so maybe refresh me. Who is Charlie?
The premise, like you said, is super unique, but it's not completely outlandish. And this is definitely a science fiction book, but it's not really heavy. So it's a really good introduction for somebody who wants to do science fiction light, right? And the idea is that Charlie, he has just gotten divorced. He's moved back into his childhood home. His dad just died. And he is substitute teaching because he got laid off at the paper that he worked with. He worked for the Times or something along those lines. So he is at rock bottom. He's fighting with his siblings about the house and the estate. He has no money. And his uncle that he hasn't seen since he was like 5 passes away. And he happens to be uber mega rich. And Charlie is the sole inheritor from his estate. And so he inherits $11 trillion in theory, but he doesn't just outright get that inheritance. He also gets a bunch of enemies, a private island, some unionized dolphins because his uncle is a supervillain.
Yeah. So I want to just draw the listener into think one of my favorite scenes that happens at the beginning. So his uncle, like you said, his uncle dies. And so they're at the funeral. And I forget why, but he's at the funeral. I guess because he inherited the money, but they asked him to go. And someone shows up and starts stabbing the corpse, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. It is so funny. That, and then right before that happens, the funeral home director is asking Charlie what to do with some of the flowers that have come in, because one of the vases says something along the line of "We're glad you're dead" or something like that. It's something else, but I can't remember exactly what it says. And I just started cracking up. And then, it all goes downhill from there. And then he just starts stabbing. And then somebody comes in to take a picture. And it's just pure chaos in that scene. And I love it. It was so funny to me.
Yeah. And so when we're talking about the fun, the vibe of the story, what would you kind of compare it to? What kind of worlds is it set in?
The world, the vibe is definitely very chaotic and funny.
Yeah.
I say the best part about this book is probably just the witty banter. So it's set basically in our world. I don't know. It's almost like a Kim Possible type situation, right?
Yeah.
The rest of the world doesn't realize that there's these supervillains out in the world. And actually, the definition of supervillain in the book is a little different than the traditional Bane, Batman type thing. It's more just these wealthy men in power that run the world. It's like talking about the uber rich and how they manipulate the world and stuff like that. So I thought that was really interesting. So it's very like that Kim Possible. They're fighting bad guys, but not really. And I don't know. What would you say it is? It's kind of.
I like the Kim Possible reference. I mean, it's definitely got some goofy James Bond kind of feel. It's all kind of like the old insane, they're coming for you, and it's like, what was the movie from the 90s? Austin Powers, kind of.
Oh, yes. Very Austin Powers vibe. But slightly more PG.
Yes. Yeah, it's a little bit more PG. And then talking about some of the characters, who are your favorites?
The cats, for sure.
Okay, let's talk about the cats. Hera and Persephone, right?
Yes. I love the cats. I love the idea that, I don't know, is this going to be a spoiler? This is kind of spoilery, I guess.
I think we can do a little. Hey, I had to tell you this because my dad listens to this, and so I've been doing this for a couple years. And early on, I was like, no spoilers, none. And he gets so mad at me. You have to give him a little bit. So, Dad, this is for you. We're going to give you a little hint of the book.
Okay. So the cats are geniuses, and the cats are like upper management on the island. Cool to me. And while the cats don't speak, they can type, and they're very smart. And so I just love the relationship. There is one point where Charlie walks in on, I think, Hera, and she's typing away, and he's, "Oh, you're sending emails." And "I'm diversifying my portfolio, my finance portfolio." And "My cat has more money than me." What? So I love the cats. And then on that same topic, my second favorite is the dolphins, because they are just absolutely insane.
Yeah. And they're unionized, right? So he kind of gets to this island, and he's meeting this whole cast of characters. We already covered the cats, but there's dolphins, and they're in a union.
Yes, they're trying to unionize, and they have all of these demands of Charlie, and they're something else. And I love the main one, because all he's just cussing out the trainer and yelling and all about down with the patriarchy, but we're dolphins, down with mankind. But also they have no leverage, and they watch too much YouTube, apparently, which again is absolutely just, it's insane. It's so funny to me. It's the perfect sci-fi light. I love that.
Right. Yeah. And the dolphins are not PG. There's a lot of profanity going around in there. Yeah. And I wanted to ask you, do you read a lot of sci-fi? What books would you compare this to that you enjoy?
So I do read a lot of sci-fi. I like a little bit of everything general genre-wise, minus nonfiction. I try to read nonfiction a year, but last year I read a grand total of 2 pages.
Oh.
And
you also have 3 children under 4, so
I do. I have 3 children under 4, and I do work full time. So I am very tired, but reading is just, it's my palate cleanser. It helps me reset. It's what I do in the evening. I don't watch a lot of TV, much to my husband's dismay, because it takes us forever to finish a series.
Absolutely. Yeah. What are y'all watching right now?
So we are watching the new season of Shrinking. Have you seen that?
Okay. Yes.
It's on
We watched,
Apple.
yes.
Oh,
It's really good. Yeah, we watched the first season. We're kind of the same way. It takes us forever, and then we forget that we've watched. And I'm like, oh yeah, we got halfway through that season and then just completely forgot about it.
Well, so we've been watching that, and we were watching Peaky Blinders, and we were on the last season, and we were trying to finish before the movie came out, which my husband eventually just decided to watch the whole last season by himself at night one night. But I can't always watch Peaky Blinders at night or something like that. It's too heavy for me, and I can't come down to go to sleep. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to watch 4 more episodes, but they're all an hour, and the next thing you know, it's 2 a.m. Yeah. So Shrinking at least is 30 minutes. It's kind of sad, but it's lighter. It's funny. Laugh in the evening. I do really like sci-fi, especially when I feel like I have the brain cells to comprehend it. I really love good world building. And so I do read high fantasy. I like lighter fantasy. I love romantasy, very much into the Sarah J. Maas environment. Okay. But also I like things. I'm almost done with the Wheel of Time series. Okay. I have like 3 books left. I'm at the book right before Brandon Sanderson takes over writing it.
Okay. Robert Jordan, right?
Yes, Robert. Yeah. I kept wanting to say Patrick Rothfuss. Rothfuss?
He's very good too. They're all great. Yes.
Except I have a bone to pick with him because the 3rd book in the Name of the Wind series has not been out for the past decade.
Oh, yeah. I've heard about this. So, okay, so talking about that a little bit, going forward, will you pick up a series if it's not done yet? Because then, I mean, that happened. I know a lot of people are upset about that. People who listen to the show know I'm very bitter about Game of Thrones not finishing.
I will, and I have a lot. Especially since now I read a lot of advanced copies. So I actually read Fourth Wing probably 6 months before the book came out. And I didn't realize it was going to be a series.
Yeah.
I finished. And then I was like, it's going to be a series? No, I got to wait. So I will generally not start a series until I know 2 books are out. And if it's going to be 3 books, the 3rd book has a publication date.
Okay. I think this is a good strategy.
Yeah. So then at least I know there's an end in sight and when to wait and be ready for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say that I have been reading the Dresden Files, which if you end up reading Starter Villain and you like it, the Dresden Files is very Harry Potter meets modern Chicago wizardy.
Okay.
But it's very grown up. It's not about witch schools, and it's not dark academia, but it's very good. But it's 19 books now. And
hang on, how big are these books?
They're not Wheel of Time level. Okay. They're more consumable. I think some of them probably get into 500 or 600 pages, but I actually listen to all of them because I like to run. And I mean, I should say I like thinking that I'm a runner. I'm a terrible runner. But so I love good audiobooks, but I'm really picky about narrators and I'm picky about what I listen to. So it has to be fantasy, mystery thriller, or a really bubbly romance. Otherwise, I can't really do contemporary. I can't do literary. For some reason, the world building for high fantasy and very intense world building for sci-fi is perfect for me. Okay. I think it just distracts me enough from the run because I have to focus on what's happening. That I forget that I'm running. But
I'm like
James Marshall. There's sci-fi and fantasy books, but he does the Dresden Files. Okay. And he's fantastic. But at this point, for a long time, the books, it was definitely a series. in where you needed to read the one before to really understand what was going on moving forward. But some of these later books are more Nancy Drew-esque in the sense that they're kind of its own story. It's great if you've read the other ones, but you don't always have to. But he does put out a book every year or so, Jim Butcher. So I enjoy them. They're fun.
So Dresden Files a good read alike for this. I am fascinated. I obviously I love to read and I love audiobooks. I can listen to an audiobook if I'm out taking a walk, but I typically I'm at the gym, I'm on the elliptical or the stair climber. I cannot do a book. I can't. I have to listen to music. It's like the only time. I don't know. I'm like I need something to get me pumped up. I don't know.
For me, I just drink my pre-workout, so that's already my pump up, and then I just need something to distract me from the pain.
I do feel this for sure. I wanted to ask you a little bit. I mean, John Scalzi, he's written other books kind of similar to this, right? I have to tell you, this is the only book by him that I have read. What do we know about him? Have you read other books by him before?
So I have. So he's got a couple of other standalone books. And so after I read Starter Villain, I immediately ran to go look and see what other books he has. He has a bunch of series, and I haven't read any of his series, and I know that they're like pretty big. And Old Man's War, that was his very first book, and I think that world, there's a lot of books tied to that world, but I haven't read one. So I listened to Starter Villain on audio. It's narrated by Will Wheaton, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's so funny. It's great.
I have to tell you this too, that's funny to me. So, like I said, I read this probably 4 or 5 months ago. And so, like, just prepping, I had him, and I forgot until right this second that Will Wheaton was the narrator. So, in my head, I don't know why, I was imagining John Scalzi as Will Wheaton. And then I was like prepping for this, and I looked up John Scalzi, and I was like, that's not Will Wheaton. He doesn't look at all like him.
I thought the same thing too. And it wasn't until I did this post about audiobooks the other day that I was like, oh, he doesn't narrate his own books.
I know. I was like envisioning this kind of like cutesy, guy in his 40s. And I looked it up. Oh, actually, Will Wheaton is 53.
He is?
I didn't know that. Sorry. You and I are both just on the internet right now being like, what?
What? That's wild.
Good for him. Good for him. He's doing great. Big fan. Okay, but going back to it, so you did the audiobook.
So I did the audiobook. Will Wheaton does a fantastic job. And then I immediately went to get the next book, which came out it's the one that came out right before Starter Villain. It is called the Kachu Preservation Society.
Okay.
And this one's a little bit more sci-fi in the sense that it takes place kind of during the COVID era. Okay. And the main guy loses his job at a paper. Is it a paper? I can't remember. No. It was like a investment company or something. Okay. But he ends up he's door dashing, and he ends up door dashing to a guy he went to college, like Northwestern or something with. And the guy is, oh, well, if you need a job, here's a card. And he gets hired. He has no idea what the job is about. And he just knows that it pays really well. And he's going to be like out of contact for modern society for 6 months. And he's thinking he's going to do research in the Antarctic or something like that. But he's going to this alternative world where their job as scientists is to protect this world from our world and from people that want to come get the dinosaurs from that world. And they're not necessarily dinosaur. I mean, they're kind of dinosaurish. And so tons of humor. Again, it's a little bit more sci-fi than Starter Villain, but it's still a very light read. Okay. Still a very fun read. And I like the way that he incorporated kind of the COVID and the lockdown and quarantine to really create and base this world off of. So that one was really good. So I read that one too. And then his newest one came out last year, and it's something about the moon and cheese. If that doesn't pique your interest in a book, I don't know you. It's called When the Moon Hits Your Eye.
Oh,
And it
okay.
came out last year.
Oh, very cool.
I would say it's less of a comical book. It's
Mm-hmm.
less funny than the other two. It's slightly more serious, but the concept is basically the moon turns to cheese. And POV is a bunch of different characters that you meet,
Mm-hmm.
and you get like a little bit of everybody's story about where they are when the moon turns to cheese and what it would do to the society in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked it. I still gave it 4 stars. It wasn't 5 like the other two for me, just because I thought it would be a little bit more fun and light. And it actually, while it's still funny, it has some more like serious vibes and tone to
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Good.
Not not what you're looking for when you're looking for like the end of the day palate cleanser, been running around all day. Stress.
Exactly.
All right, so I always ask who would you say the ideal reader for this is? Who would you recommend it to?
Anybody who wants something fun and fast and completely unserious in the
Hmm.
best way.
Okay.
And I think there's not a like set demographic, because I definitely recommend this book to a lot of different people, different types of people, I should
Mhm.
say. And I think it fits a lot of different type of genres and vibes that
Okay.
people are getting. But if you just are looking for something quirky, you like talking animals, you like good witty banter,
Hmm.
that is this book. And probably somebody who doesn't take themselves too seriously, because
Yeah.
the book is not serious at all. And I would also say it's definitely a good vacation read, or if you're in a reading slump, it's a perfect book to come back from a reading slump.
Okay. I that great rec. People always are needing that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I also, so before we turn the table a little bit, is there anything about the book that you wanted to make sure we talked about that we did not get to?
No, I think I think we really covered it, and I
Okay.
don't want to spoil it too much, because I think it's just fun to go in with an open mind. And
Hmm.
you will find I am the biggest open-minded reader.
Hmm.
I definitely pick books based on their cover and their genre and then just run with it. And then I'm
Uh-huh.
like, this was not what I was expecting.
Uh-huh.
But I hardly ever read summaries on books or reviews before I read them, because I think I'm just a judgy person. And so once I have an opinion made about something, I will just make it into something else in my head. And
Uh-huh.
so then I'll be reading the book and I'll be like, this is not what I expected. This is not what I wanted,
Okay.
because it's not the story that was in my head.
Yeah.
So going in blind is the best recommendation for almost any book, in my opinion. Just
Okay.
see what you get for the day.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to be. I'm curious, what's your DNF did not finish policy?
I'm I'm a huge mood reader.
Okay.
Can't tell by just that comment, but I'm a huge mood reader. And if a book doesn't keep me from falling asleep within the first 10 minutes, I'll put it down.
Okay.
And it's either I don't like this, and I will normally know within the first 2 or 3 chapters if I'm vibing with something or not.
Okay.
And if I'm not, there's too many good books out there that are perfect for me,
Hmm.
that I don't want to say to waste my time on a bad book, but not every book is for every season of life, and not every book is for everybody.
Right.
And I have young kids. We've got a lot of heavy stuff going on in my family right now. I work full time. I'm tired. I cannot emotionally handle anything right now that is too sad or deep. And so if I start to get that vibe, it's an immediate put down for me right now.
Okay.
But other times, you just need a good cry. And so I will save that book for that pile.
Yeah. Well, and I love that you said that too, because I mean, as a librarian, I didn't, do you know that there's 5 rules of librarianship?
No.
I know. Nobody does. Nobody does. But the two that I always quote is for every book, its reader, and for every reader, their book. So basically, it's what you just said, where not every book is written for every person, and that is okay. And it is, for every book that I would say was like one of my favorites, one of the best books I've ever read, there's someone out there that gave it a 1-star review. And
And
it
they
breaks.
are wrong. I'm just kidding.
They're wrong, but that's
They're
okay.
wrong.
That's not fine. But anyway, so that's something I always talk about as, like I said, as a librarian, as, someone who reads quite a bit. So I love that you said that. And also kind of on that vibe a little bit, I guess, let's talk about you. Who We're gonna do a little bit of inside the actor's studio. Who is Allie?
Oh man, that is a loaded question. I personally, I'm a mom, I'm a sister, I only have sisters. I a wannabe runner and a reader, and I have so many other things that classify who I am. And I think we talked about this a little bit before the podcast, but I am the most extroverted introvert you'll ever meet.
Mm-hmm.
I am 100% a type C person. Have you heard about those?
No.
There's type A and type B, but it's all over social media now. And it's all about I think it started with type C moms.
Okay.
And it was just a funny joke, but that is 100% me. So I'm a project manager and I work for a software company. And so that's what I do in I was about to say free time, because my 9 to 5 feels like free time sometimes versus my 5 to 9 at home.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I work from home as well. So I am always.
Okay. Yeah.
So I feel like I don't get a break all the time, but.
Right. I feel that.
But I love working from home.
Okay.
But.
Hang on, I'm still not clear on the type C.
Oh, yes, that's what I was talking about.
Okay, I need to be very clear. I am like a type A to my own detriment. So, but I respect everybody.
So I used to always think that I was very type A. I need plans.
You're a project manager, yeah.
I'm used to herding cats, schedules, timeframes. Mm-hmm. What do you need? Let's get to the point.
Yeah.
I would say that, have you ever taken have you ever done your strengths test?
Yes. Now discover your strengths.
Yes. I love when people do their strengths test. It's my favorite thing. I don't believe in personality tests, but I believe in the strengths finder. I think it's so important.
100%. Okay, Allison, you're coming back because we got to hang on. So have you read First Break All the Rules?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I've only read, so I had to do it for my very first job out of college. Okay. The company made everybody do it.
Do the strengths test.
They truly believe that teams work better when you understand each other's strengths. Because if you've never done the strengths finder test, you should definitely go out and look at it, because it's all about identifying your strengths. Yes. But the theory is that everybody has the same, 32 strengths? Yeah. You just have them in different orders. And so depending upon your orders, you go from there. Okay. Well, then on the flip side of that, totally separate, the only other personality test I really believe in is the Enneagram. Okay. And I'm a type 3, which depending upon your wings, it's a whole thing. You have to look it up if you don't know about it. But
I know about it, but I've never taken it. So.
Oh gosh, you should take it. You're probably a 1 or a 3 though, if you're really type A.
Okay. Thank you.
But there's only 9 numbers.
I'll just be like, Allie told me 1 or 3, so that's what I'm going with.
I'm trying to remember what my best friend, who's extremely type A, is. I think she's a 1. But 3s, one of the things for 3s, and this goes back to my gender as well, is my 30s strength when I took it was empathy.
That's your 34th?
Yeah, that's my lowest one.
That's my number 1.
Oh my God. It's so funny. I'm friends with so many people that have empathy in their top 3. Okay. Your top 3 to 5 make up your main personality, right? Right. And then, so yes, empathy is my lowest, but I am a 3 on the Enneagram, and the 3 for the Enneagrams have a really hard time expressing emotions. Okay. So it's all about, it's not that we don't have them, it's that they can make us really uncomfortable and we don't always know how to address them or how to express them in an appropriate way. And so Oh my gosh, I'm just going down all the personality things. Apparently, I believe in them way more than I thought. But your love language is...
Hang on, what's your Myers-Briggs?
Okay, that one I don't know because I can never remember the letters because I am too ADHD for that.
Oh, okay.
But, I'm always like the one that's extroverted, judgy, I guess.
Okay, that's an EN. So I am an ENFP. And so I think your E, is it S? I can't remember.
There's an N, I think, in mine. Is an N a letter? Did I look that up?
Yes, there is an N. So EN, maybe TJ. There is a J for judge.
There's a J for sure.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a judgment, which is very much my personality. And again, this makes me sound like I have no emotional compass and I am just very like, whatever. But it's because I'm just very blunt. And I truly believe if you look bad, I'm not going to let you walk out of the house like that. And so I've had to work on this a lot. And it's my delivery of that because it can be seen as callous because I'm just really direct. And so that goes kind of back to the type A. Right. And all of that, right? Okay. And so circling back to what we were originally talking about.
Sorry, I think I derailed us when I was like, Strengths Finder, right?
I get so excited. Not everybody knows about it. And I think it's really important. I've done a lot of work on myself in the last 2 decades since I left college and all that to be a more aware person. And I do think that I'm the greatest thing ever, but also I understand that I'm not everybody's cup of tea and I'm not the greatest for everybody, right? And it goes exactly back to books. There are people out there for everybody and every type of friend, but not every person and personality is made for other people, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But I am very open-minded. I just have zero empathy. But so type A is very structured, right? And type B is very ADHD, like a mess, chaotic. And type C is a mixture of the two.
Okay.
So you make all of these plans and you are the planner of your group. You're also very much go with the flow, very open to trying new things and doing new things. Some of the best representation of what a type C is, if you look it up on social media and stuff, it'll be about moms. That's why I think it started with the types of moms.
Okay.
And it's talking about how your type C moms have everything that they need for their kids. Their kids are picture perfect, but they go to daycare drop off in pajamas and brushing their teeth still at the same time. So they're completely chaotic, but their kids are totally the important things are completely taken care of.
Okay.
And so they tend to put more emphasis on things that matter, quote unquote, in their opinion. And so they want to have this perfect life and they want to be really type A, but so they make the list to do it all because it makes them feel good, but then they don't always follow the list because then they get lazy or they get tired. And then so it's just like, it's kind of like a more millennial, we're all just doing the best we can.
Yeah.
And that's 100% me. Okay. I'm a project manager, but I'm also like, my kids eat dirt.
Well, everybody, I remember looking over at my kid just eating chalk at, you know what I mean? You're just like,
one of my favorite
it's probably not going to kill her.
Be fine. One of my favorite memories is this is when my now 4-year-old was maybe 18 months. And we had some friends over and I had the mini kid pool out. And one of the little boys, every time he got his hands wet, he walked to his mom and had her wipe his hands because he didn't like to have dirty hands.
Okay.
And then the other little boy was just sitting in the pool. He was very not scared, just very cautious and was playing really nice. And then all of it, and these boys have swimsuits on. All of a sudden, and I've been talking to my 2 friends, all of a sudden I look up because my son is streaking across the backyard, belly flops into this kid pool, naked, totally naked. And I was just like, okay, well, if that doesn't describe the difference between your children and we call him Wild Man. Like Wild
Okay.
Man is literally his name. Also, we call him a Tasmanian devil because everywhere he goes, disaster just follows him.
Oh.
And yeah, he's big personality. He's gonna do great things as a CEO one day.
Got to get him there.
But he's also very emotional and he's very sweet and he's my loving, loving little boy. And so,
Yeah.
you do what you can.
Yeah, we're all doing our best for
We're all doing
sure.
our best.
Yeah. Now, and I say because I am a little bit type A, but I'm also, I guess, this is the empathetic side of me. Like, I think people think I'm judgy. I'm really not. I think I look judgy. They're like, "Oh, that girl is judgy." I'm not ever thinking. I'm always just worried about my own stuff. And so, anyway, but yeah, I like to have my stuff together, but I really don't care if other people do or not. I'm happy for everybody. And my kid, like I said, was eating chalk and has run around the house naked and all kinds of stuff.
Chalk is good for, heartburn and stuff. So
Yeah,
basically Tums.
she's doing just fine.
She's almost out of high school. She's getting there.
She's going to get there. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what we can put a spotlight on for you, like exciting things that you've got going on right now.
Exciting things. I'm a little too exhausted to have too big of excitement in my life. But I do, as a side gig, side hobby, my real passion, of course, is to read books. And I would love for somebody just to pay me to read books. So if anybody wants a job like that, I would love it. But I also don't want to have to get my master's in librarian science because I already have a master's and I don't want to go back to school.
I know.
But so I do book reviews on the side and I post them at my website, speakingof.org. I do Instagram, I do TikTok. I would say my vibe on both of those is lots of book reviews, book recommendations, and a lot of just pure chaos and reader humor. I'm very much into, like I mentioned before, I love to laugh. And so I am just always here to try and be real. And I don't want to be like necessarily an influencer or anything, but I would love it if it took off so that I could stay home. Well, stay home and read books, not stay home and continue my work from home job.
Yeah.
But so that's probably the biggest thing that I have right now. I do a lot of reviews, like I said, and that's kind of what my focus has been. It's always kind of been that. And I stumbled into Bookstagram by accident. I was really about 10 years ago. I've always had this dream that I really want to write a book. And so even when I was little, my dad used to tell us lots of stories every night. And so he would tell us a story for 10 minutes. And then we had to wait till the next night for the next story. And one of the most memorable ones is based on the Three Stooges. He just would make stuff up as he went. And so he was always big into stories. I've always been really big into stories. I have a way overactive imagination. And I've always wanted to write a book. When I was little, I used to start journals. I'm just terrible at following through, which is probably my type C personality coming through. I get distracted, the ADD. I'm like, oh, new shiny thing.
Yeah.
And so about 10 years ago, I really wanted to try and take writing a little bit more seriously. And so I started my website and my blog really just to practice my own writing for myself because I read something somewhere that Stephen King says you should write every day. It doesn't matter what you write, but writing every day will just help you improve, even if you're not trying, right? So just get the words down. Yeah. And so that's what I really started it as. And I have been working on a couple other book ideas. I am nowhere near doing anything with that, but I would love to be like a published author. That would be a dream come true. So I just need to keep working towards it. But yeah, that's kind of that's the big picture, right? It's the 70-year life plan goal.
Well, I love that. I mean, so much because it is. Think about like how many people have a dream and they keep putting it off. Or I think a lot of times we think it's not important if it's not going to immediately make money, and we're also focused on our careers and supporting our family and everything. So it's exciting to hear you're on your journey. You're I don't want to say trudging, right? You're working on it every day. You're getting through.
Trudging, yeah.
You're trudging. Okay. But you're trudging through it. And there's a quote, I know that it's the same sentiment. It's from The Art of Racing in the Rain. And it's you go where your eyes go.
Mhm.
Oprah has a similar one. It's what you focus on expands. And
I love that.
yeah, I just believe that so much that I don't know where the magic is, but what you give your time and your energy to is going to open up for you, but just in ways that you can't plan for. So,
Yeah. Well, and you just, like you said, you never know where life is going to take you. And I would hate to wake up when I'm 80 years old and realize I didn't even try
right.
to get somewhere. And I know that sounds cliche, but that's the nature of things, right? Like just because there are thousands of people who want to do the same thing, somebody has to do it.
Right.
Somebody is doing it. There's tons of authors out there every day. Every Tuesday, I guess I should say, a new debut author has a new book out. And I would love to be that person one day, but you have to work towards it. I mean, you have to visualize it, work towards it. You can't just wake up one day and it happening, even if you wanted to. But I just think so much about how impressive authors are and how these athletes and Olympians and people that are just living out their dream, like how much more satisfying is their life knowing that they did put the work in and, didn't let excuses get to them. But I also want to show that to my kids, right? Like my parents are very successful people, and a lot of it is because they went out and just did it. And the worst that's going to happen is if you tried.
Yeah.
That's the worst that's going to happen, right? I always tell people for client-wise and stuff too with work, I'm like, I mean, you can always ask, the worst anybody's going to tell you is no.
Yeah. And sometimes they say yes. So
and they surprise you.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the other thing I'd love to say is that books are really special to me. I couldn't read until the 3rd grade. And nobody realized I couldn't read because apparently I had really great context clue skills.
Okay.
Is that how you say that, right?
Yeah.
And so I would just make up stories in my head and I just had really good comprehension. And so the words that I did read just clued me into the book. Obviously, that's how context clues work. And after my 3rd grade teacher figured out I couldn't read, she sat down with me, worked hard with me. And then it was like this whole new world opened up. And then, so I went from 3rd grade where I couldn't read to 4th grade where I won 2nd place for accelerated reader points in the school. And this was like with 8th graders and stuff like that too. And so books hold a special place in my heart because of that. Stories hold a special place because my dad always told us stories when we were growing up. And I just love that. But then also I have just such an overactive imagination that I think it's one of those things, if you can think it, it can happen. And I think that's really special. And so I love the adventures and stuff that people can take you on by just putting words on the page and whatnot. And honestly, if you're going to go to any type of world, though, you should go to Starter Villain World. And I don't even remember what the island was called now, but it's in the Caribbean and you should go there and it would be so fun.
Yes, absolutely. What a great way to wrap us up for tonight. This has been so fun, Allie. And I forget, just real quick, did you give us your website and your handles for social media?
Oh, I didn't. So my website is speakingof.org, and that's where I post full reviews. That's primarily what that is.
Okay.
And my social media handles are speakingof.books. And so if you're interested in following along with my journey, that would be great. But I promise lots of book reviews, book content, lots of cute baby pictures. And I also talk about my dog a lot because she's my first baby. And I mean, she's honestly just really adorable and judgy. She's very judgy.
She is also an ENFJ.
She is. Yeah. So was my daughter. She is so judgy too. She rolls her eyes already at people. And I'm just like, you are not even 2, lady.
She's a top. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love that so much. Well, thank you so much for being with me tonight. This has been a blast. And yeah, everyone go read Starter Villain.
Go read it. Go listen to it. Listening to it would be so much more fun. Yeah.
With Will Wheaton. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much, Gigi, for having me on. This has actually been so much fun. And I will hold you to coming back again because.
Yes, to talk about the Strengths Finder because everybody needs to do this. I wanted all of my staff to do it last year. So all of my entire team have their strengths, and I think it's really important. So anyway, cheers. Good night. Cheers. Yay. Thank you for spending some time with me and my guests for an episode of Drinks in the Library. For more information about the show, you can find us on Instagram at Drinks in the Library, on the World Wide Web, drinksinthelibrary.com, or shoot me an email at drinkspod@gmail.com. Until next time, cheers.